So get yourselves in a comfortable position and look straight forwards. Your eyes are seeing through everything in front of you. Slowly draw your vision back and become aware of yourself. Layers and layers of yourself. Become aware of everything about yourself that you can become aware of. Awareness inside. Eyes are shut. Become aware of the space of the head. And just relax in that space. Open and free and relaxed. Relax the neck. So nice to pay attention to the body and pay attention to these beautiful parts of our life that sometimes we don't pay enough attention to in the daily life. So it's good to just make a ritual of coming back and bring the awareness to the shoulders. Beautiful and open and free. Your shoulders are relaxed, tension is dissolving. Feel comfortable with your shoulders. Become aware of the arms. Move the awareness down through the arms. And give the instruction to relax. And feel that relaxation move gently down through the arms. Through the wrists. Through to the fingers. Always good to notice the fingers and let the tension go from the fingers. Right from the tips, right to the tips. Become aware of the chest and the upper back. Imagine that that space is free and open and light. So open, accommodating, filled with the warmth of the connection of our group coming back together again. Feel how the feeling of friendship and joy makes the chest feel. Chest is relaxed and open and bright. Relax the abdomen and the lower back. Trust and feel grounded and settled. Relax your hips. Relax just slowly down through the legs, the knees, open and spacious, calves, ankles and feet and toes. Feel how nice it feels to be present in your body, present in this moment, present in this feeling. And this feeling is chi. You are chi. Body is not the physical body, but it is the chi body. Feel how the physical body has the element of chi, Just by becoming aware of that chi aspect, that's what you sense. Sense the chi aspect of your body. It's flowing, it's bright and light, it's very relaxed. And the physical body responds so beautifully to the information in the chi. So as the chi flows and relaxes, then the physical body will relax. Miracles can happen in that space of chi. And feel the chi all around. Open and expand the consciousness to blend the body and the chi and the heart and your whole being with the consciousness and the chi of the universe. You're one with the bright light of the universe. Feel how that makes your body feel. Feel how when you are open into the universe, you get a sense of something, but it's so vast and so beautiful you can't know it all. And you're struck with awe and humility and a deep respect. And feel that respect in your heart. Respect for everything. And feel how the universe respects you because you deserve to be respected and treated with awe and humility because you are the universe. And you deserve to be loved and treated with compassion and understanding because you are the universe. Feel that love and compassion in your heart. Feel that relaxation and freedom. And you can open your eyes now or keep them closed. Welcome everyone to our first class of the year. Our topic is fixed expectations. And just to mess with your expectations a little bit, I would like to also add in the excessive expectations as well. And it's another pattern very closely related, and because I was just at the point where I couldn't avoid this pattern of fixed expectations, it was just the most obvious pattern that was showing itself in my life. And if you think of these patterns, these habitual thoughts that we have, the very instinctual habitual thoughts that we have that create who we are now, but not necessarily who we are at a deeper level and who we may become, then sometimes I think they're all just so interconnected like a web. And you look at one pattern from a different angle and suddenly it becomes a different pattern and you can work on it that way. I'll start us off with an example of someone else's pattern. I hope he doesn't mind, he probably does. It's my dad, and the reason I'll share it is because as soon as it happened, it was the pattern I've been working on for a long time, and I was like, whoa, we're just like peas of a pod, they're just so identical. But to me it's such a funny story. I thought it was a good example. And again, my brother thought it was funny too. What happened was my dad and I were driving in Auckland, and we were driving back from the city. So my dad's really like organized, and he's been a policeman and a lawyer and so on, and he's very disciplined. And we got to the traffic lights, and we were going down to the suburb. It's called New Lynn, which is where we needed to go to the supermarket. And there was kind of three ways you could go, and we were just coming up. And normally my mum would go a certain way, and Dad was going to go the straight way. And I go, "Hey, why don't you go that way?" And so he went, "Oh yeah, okay." And he followed the road, and 30 seconds later, he got a speeding ticket. And he was just so, I can't say who he was angry with. He wasn't really angry with me, but you couldn't help but feeling a little responsible that you'd just directed him straight to the police officer's car, like just pointed him straight there like that. But he was just so angry. He was angry with himself mainly. He's just like, "Oh, that's idiot money. Why would I do that? It's the only time I've ever had a speeding ticket." And then the pattern that, I'll finish this first of all. And so he was angry, but he was fine. And then my brother, later I thought, well, I'm just going to have to clear the air with this. So when we were at dinner, I just told the story to the whole family. And my brother, who had just come home from work, just cracked up laughing because Dad had actually had one speeding ticket before in his life. So it was his second one. But my brother was like, couldn't believe that Dad got a speeding ticket. He's kind of over the moon. It's just so funny to him. And so that lightened the air. But what I've been observing with myself is something. Okay, the first thing I was observing was there was an emotion, a stuck emotion. So first of all, I would be like, let's say I'm doing some building with my wife. I'll just give an example. The thing with this pattern of fixed expectations is these patterns can be active all day, and they can manifest in so many different ways that it's impossible to just cover all the possibilities. But let's say I'm just doing some building with my wife. The first thing I would notice is that I'm just feeling annoyed. I'm feeling annoyed. I'm also feeling like I don't want to express my annoyance because I know that that's not really fair and it's not going to go anywhere. So I examine my annoyance a little further, and then I see that actually I'm just dissatisfied with reality, and I'm kind of blaming, oh man, all the stuff that I'm saying about family members today. But anyway, I'm kind of blaming her subconsciously, almost subconsciously blaming her, like something's not right and I'm blaming her. And so with the building, it's like, let's say two people are working on the same thing, on the same project. Literally, you're not going to think the same way. You're not going to think the same way, and you're not going to have the same expectations as the other person. So when I examined the blame further, I realized that actually it was that I was upset that things weren't matching my expectations. And when I examined my expectations, I could see that sometimes those expectations are kind of fixed. They're kind of like they've come about because I've seen, like say with the building example, I've seen how other people have done building, or how I think building should be done, and I've got my own set of values and expectations. It could be fixed, so that could be fixed expectations. It could also be kind of excessive expectations where I'm actually almost to a level of perfectionism, expecting that other person to somehow be perfect and not make mistakes, even though I literally would always make those mistakes myself. Like I would make different mistakes. So the excessive expectation is really interesting, because I see that I look at society and then I feel a bit grumpy about it, and then I feel like, just angry, and then, and then, like, oh, it's bloody well Donald Trump's fault, or it's the Green Party, or it's someone's fault. Someone did it, you know. But it's all very packed into a little ball, you know. But my expectations of society being better in some way are essentially a fantasy, because I don't know. I mean, society is just what it is. It's better to just be here in reality. This is reality. This is the world we live in, and I don't know the unfolding of it all. So, and I'll just touch on. I might drop back to that anyway. So. It's worth just, when we do our meditation at the end, the Ling Yuan practice, the 7th method, we might like to reflect on why we might want to have these expectations in the world, why we might want to. Another example, maybe I'd like to have a dad that didn't get angry when he got speeding tickets, you know. No, he was actually quite reasonable, by the way. He wasn't like over the top, but maybe you'd like, you know, your parents to be different, or to be a certain way, your family to be a certain way. And it has an element, there's reasons behind that, and some of those reasons are, when I examine them for myself, like needing to control the world in some way, or needing to have a predictable world, you know, needing to be in control and have a predictable world, and feeling that I'm almost at war with the world when it's not meeting my expectations, and so trying to control the situation. And this comes from Nobuto's workshop this morning. He talked extensively about anger. It was kind of like, first I feel fear, you know. Think of your ancestors. They're in a really, you know, our early ancestors were in much more dangerous environments, continuously dangerous environments than us. They had to survive, and so there would have been a lot of fear. And so first there's the fear, which is survival. So there's the deep need to survive, and then there's trying to control your environment in order to survive. And then there's a whole lot of anger and emotions that come up with that fight to survive, I guess. So, and maybe we should reflect also on the damage that it causes, because, well, first of all, we've survived, so well done you guys have survived, and well done our ancestors for getting us to survive to here. And you know, they've done such a great job of allowing us to survive that now we have our computers and our internet, and most of us have inside running water and cups of tea, just so much stuff that our ancestors have done for us. And but in the same way that we're refining the technology that has been brought forward from the past, you know, first it was, you know, carrying water from a stream, and then the Roman aqueducts, and then the modern plumbing, you know, that technology that's led, you know, computers used to be in whole floors of a building was a computer in the old days. Before that it was, the Chinese had the abacus, So technology has evolved, and we need to do the same with the survival patterns that our ancestors have brought forward for us. We need to say, well done, they've brought us these patterns, they have many good qualities. What are we doing with them now? Let's take a look at them. What are we doing with them now? So yeah, and I think it would be worth just examining the damage just briefly, because when we get to that in the Lingyuan practice, I think that's going to be really important, because fixed expectations on the surface, it allows you to survive, it allows you to have a relatively secure environment. Maybe just close your eyes for a moment and just ask yourself how you feel when things don't go your way. How do I feel when things don't go my way? And then, well, how do I respond when things don't go my way? How does that make my body feel? For me, my body can't relax. My body can't relax when I'm expecting things to meet my expectations. And I'm actually a little embarrassed. I would really like to get to the root of why I blame other people and why I feel anger and why I feel hate and horrible, those feelings. Not just because I know what they do to my physical body, like they do so much damage to my physical body. I'm embarrassed that I would feel those feelings towards people I love, because I really want to not feel that way. And I also want to understand it well enough in myself that I could help free other people from those feelings within themselves, because I know the beauty beyond that. You can open your eyes again if you want. And I'm just going to touch briefly on replacement patterns before we get into the conversation part of the class. And I'm going to welcome Sabine to the class as well, because she wasn't here when I started talking. And so I've talked really freely about this today because I've been doing my own Shen work, my own work on these patterns. And I've been doing it mostly without the Lingyuan, but more with the Jia Cha. So I actually kind of hold the awareness of these patterns through the day and keep observing the reactions. And sometimes when there's something I don't have clarity on, then I'll try to kind of sit in that space and observe it for longer. But most of that work is done just throughout the day. And so, in all honesty, the replacement patterns for me were just 2 replacement patterns. Say honesty, there's probably more, but it's really digging in for me now, is just the trust and the openness. Almost comes to a point of surrender, like, well, that didn't, or like, use the building example again, like, well, the person that I'm working alongside is doing something different from me. Well, I'll just trust that brings more richness to it, so that if necessary, we can communicate over that. If not, then I learn and I grow. Everything is different all the time. So just to keep trusting and embracing and opening to these different environments. I even did quite a lot of meditation and reflection around my emotional response to my dad getting upset, because I realized it's something. It's so funny that I have that pattern that he has, almost identical, because I realized that in some ways that him getting, he's just such a fun, loving person that when I was little and he used to get just upset, I think it confused me a little, because you suddenly are in a very safe environment to feeling not safe. And so I was able to kind of, as an adult, like just hang out with him and go, oh, cool, okay, just that's who he is. He doesn't have, you can be friends with someone that's not perfect, who even is like that, and just love them, have that openness and that trust that people are like they are. It's hard to, I guess there's forgiveness there too. There's so many layers to it. I'll just close my eyes and just sense in if there's anything else I would like to add. I told you guys at the start, but I'm just so excited that these classes have started back, and my heart felt really good to be joining again and reconnecting again. And I said it in the email as well about my family, that it was so good. The work we did last year with these classes made last year really special for me. And then when it was just 10 days, my wife and my son came with me, and it was my mum and dad, etc., etc. And it was like applying the Rensure, applying all this heart work and all this pattern work to the environment, to the family situation, and it's just so enriching. So it's interesting on the one hand that fixed expectations is a response that comes out of fear, and excessive expectations is a response that comes out of fear. But if we step away from that fear and we go into those heart qualities and those connections with others and those connections with ourselves and getting to know ourselves, that the world is just so much richer and far more interesting than being stuck in that place. It's just beautiful. It's really, really, really rich, and so we just, now when we open up to the discussion and to the meditation at the end, it's our opportunity to just kind of dive in, and last thing I'll say, like the metaphor of swimming in Dunedin, isn't it? Not that you guys know Dunedin, but I actually did briefly swim the other day. So we don't have to worry about sharks. We do have sharks down here, I think, but it's not a big thing. It's mostly just fear of the cold. So it's like, but just dive in and go past the fear, and the experience is so much richer than that. So I'm going to, Sabina, would you like to add? How are you? She's good. So thank you guys. Let's start the class. So just get yourselves comfortable and relaxed. We'll do the Ling Yuan, the guided meditation, in a reasonably free form. I don't have the text with me today, so I'll just do it as I remember it and as what feels natural in the space. I made a few notes along the way. I mean, that was just so beautiful. This is Rensure teachings. Yuan Su will always say, he will refer to Confucius, and Confucius would say that within any three people, one of them could be my teacher. And then Yuanta will say to us that everyone is our teacher. And so, but don't you feel that even more within when we're doing classes together, and just to meet one another at a heart level, and I actually try to imagine when we're talking, I try to have that same respect as if I was talking to Yuansa, and openness that I will receive wisdom. And I try to do that as well, not just with my Renshire family and students and other teachers, but with people in general. But it's just so enriching. I will drop in, this is partly because we have the recording and I want it to feel complete. That gratitude came up really strongly from specifically Ruth, but other people as well, as a replacement pattern. I just feel that's really important. And also something I realized hadn't quite been covered but was really big for me was with the fixed expectations, was how I internalize expectations I might feel. Like, say I grew up in a family environment and a school environment, and the typical one is to do well at school and to be successful in certain ways that society measures as successful. And first of all, there's those expectations on people outside of you, and you want to please them, so you want to meet their expectations, and then you internalize them. So you actually could be all alone in a cave somewhere, but you'd be putting on big expectations on yourself in your cave, like, I must keep my cave clean and tidy, whatever expectations. You actually, by that point, you've internalized them. You can't escape them. You carry them with you. And I literally try to obliterate my fixed expectations, the stress and pressure I carried with myself from that just built up with drugs and alcohol in my early 20s. And that didn't work. So now we're on the Renshire stage of life, and that seems to be going pretty well. And then the last thing I wanted to add, so much was talked about this, but it's so hard to summarize. But basically, that fixed expectations doesn't mean not having expectations and not having direction and purpose and will to do things. That you still have a strong will to do things, but you kind of expect reality to just be you. Your expectation is that reality is what it is, but then you also expect that you will do your best with reality. So, because you're part of reality, and all the time there is an opportunity to make things more beautiful, like to listen to people more, to maybe do the dishes, or to be more considerate, to share into your teachings, to if you just do whatever job you need to do, you do your job. Always you can do your best, and you can want the best. Having no expectations doesn't mean we don't have no expectations. We still have a direction. We just see that, and this came up a lot in the conversation, that we're part of something bigger. We're part of a totality and a wholeness of everything. So that my small expectations, again, this wasn't me, this was earlier, my small expectations are open to the bigger picture, and maybe even dissolve in the bigger picture. So sit and relax. And I invite you to close your eyes and to begin a process of self-inquiry. And the questions that we're going to use today are just starting points. You can actually continue to ask yourself questions all the time, like, why do I feel like this right now? What's going on? Why did that upset me? And you can ask all sorts of questions. Where am I taking my life? Or why is it like that? And the deeper you go, the more almost spontaneous the questions are, the more they come from a very deep, free place. They come from the heart itself, and they're very deep and very free. And the answers can be spontaneous. So just relaxing, like we did at the start. Relaxing from head to toe. From inside out. Awareness is in your body. You feeling the emptiness and spaciousness within. Full acceptance into the body. Expand your awareness out. You are becoming one with the universe. Draw your awareness back. Calm and peaceful. Open to the universe. With reverence. Head utmost Gongjing. And for me, Gongjing is when I realize how important something is, so I take it seriously. It's like we can go through life not noticing the suffering of others, or not noticing how important our role in it all is. It's all so important. That deserves your respect, deserves to be treated as something that is worthy of your love and respect, sacred. It's like every moment is like a prayer or a ritual. Everything is sacred. Feel the Gongjing for the universe and everything in it. Everything, all its manifestations. Feel the love and wisdom from the universe that comes from giving it your Gongjing. You are loved. And open yourself to feel that love. It's very normal, very ordinary and natural. It's like the love that comes from the rain to the earth and the trees and the grass. Just feel that relaxation inside. Bring yourself to a heart space, to a communion with your heart. Your heart is open and free, bright. Your heart is the best inquirer to connect to your Shen, your true self. And from deep in your heart, you're going to ask these questions, but you're going to trust that what will come out now. And what I give now is just a very gentle guidance that you can follow if it helps you to go into that space. Feeling into the heart. Can you recognize the pattern of fixed expectations? Do you recognize the pattern of fixed expectations? What are the causes of this pattern of fixed expectations? Asking from the heart to the true self, from deep in the heart. What are the reasons for this pattern? This pattern that can manifest in so many different ways. What are the reasons for this pattern? with the utmost sincerity, honesty, and compassion in your heart, ask yourself, what are the negative effects of this pattern? You really want to know the answer? Ask. We'll do it a little bit freestyle here. Just feeling into the feeling in your heart and into your body. How does the space of your heart feel when you think about these patterns around the pattern of fixed expectations? Is there anything that you want to ask yourself now? Any place you want to inquire to go deeper into this pattern? Just take the moment, take the time now just to go deeper, to see what you can see. Maybe there's feelings or something that we're hiding from ourselves. Just go and sit in that place. See if you can just feel into it. Make a little space there. See it. Feel your love for that place. And if you're ready now inquire for the replacement patterns. True self, can you show me the replacement patterns? How can I do things differently? What can I bring? What qualities and understanding and wisdom can I bring into my life now? To see this pattern, to see it from a different perspective. To respond to these situations in life in a different way. Feel these replacement patterns. Maybe they're ones you've experienced before. Maybe they're ones that have just come in now as you asked them, as you did the inquiry. Feel them. Welcome them. Feel how they feel in your body. Sit with them and welcome them into your life. Use the heart and all those beautiful heart qualities you know to welcome these feelings and this wisdom and these new patterns into your life. It's like you've just had a pattern makeover. You're glamorous and filled with beautiful patterns. Feel these patterns and how good they feel. You want to keep these patterns the whole day, maybe forever. Feel your love for these patterns. Feel your excitement to show them in a very honest way to your family and friends, your cat, the trees outside. Open your arms to the wisdom of the universe, wisdom in the chi field. Feel how you're supported by the chi field. Surrender into it. You are the chi field. You are supported by the love and wisdom of the universe. And draw it back. Draw it back slowly first to the heart. Nourishing on the heart. And then draw it back slowly to lower dantian.